What's the summer been like for you, in the context of your faith and just a lot of things changing for you?
Well, my faith was big this summer because, I graduated school, and then basically from even before graduation, from the time your senior season ends, you don't know what city you're going to be in, what kind of situation you're going to be in, and you go and you work out. I worked out for probably 15 teams, and it's all in preparation for the draft, because the draft is going to decide how much money you make next year, what city you live in, who your teammates are, and it can be a stressful time. You put a lot of pressure on each workout, and I got to the point I was like, you know what, it's out of my hands. I was like, I showed what I could do in the season. I was like, I'm a good player. Wherever I said, God, wherever you want me to end up, that's where I'm gonna end up. And I knew personally a couple things that I wanted in this situation. And I said this before I got drafted by the Nets. I said, I want to go to a team that has a superstar or somebody to learn from, somebody that you want to have as a good vet as a rookie. And because you talk to guys who have had that and they're like, it's invaluable. That's what you want. You don't want to go to a team like a Sacramento or a team that doesn't have like an established player. And then obviously everybody wants to be on a good team and a team where they have a chance to contribute to a winning effort. And it's crazy how it happened, because the night of the draft, I was at peace. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna be stressed out, whatever." I said, "Hey, it's out of my hands." I did my workouts. It's in God's hands now. And of course, that night I didn't get picked by any of the teams I worked out for. I worked out from everybody from 5. That was picking 5 to 20. So I got to pick 20, and I was like, well, let's see where. I didn't even know who was picking 21 and 22. And then the Nets took me at 22. And that same day, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry were traded to the Nets. So I got everything that I wanted. Ended up being in Brooklyn, but really, I didn't even work out for Brooklyn pre-draft because we didn't know it would be that kind of a situation.
Right.
So it's crazy how it all transpired, but now I'm playing with a couple Hall of Famers.
Yeah, no, that is awesome.
I have a heck of a coach, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah, as you look back on that,
yeah,
it just seems like
there's
kind of God took you to like the.
Yeah, absolutely, because my agent, it's his job to know everything that's going on. He didn't know. Everybody thought KG and Paul were going to the Clippers with Doc Rivers. Nobody could have predicted it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have predicted it. And I couldn't have told you, I want to go to the Nets because of this or this. And it just, in one night, and it's crazy that happened the same night as the draft. In one night, it became the situation that I was dreaming of.
Yeah.
And I was just fortunate that they thought enough of me to pick me, and they wanted me to join the team.
Yeah, when you went to bed that night, obviously, sometimes I just go to bed and I'm like, God, I can't even script this.
Yeah, his plans, you can't see it. That's why you have to act on faith, because it's out of our hands sometimes. And I for sure felt that way.
Yeah, no, I bet.
The draft was at the Barclays Center, and normally you fly to whatever city you get picked by. I was like, all right, let's go to the hotel. We'll go see everybody in the morning. So it was really cool.
Yeah. What did you? Was that summer kind of one of the more stressful periods of your life, just because so much was changing?
Yeah, it was.
It's exciting, but
it's very exciting. It can be very stressful, but then I almost got to where I wasn't enjoying it, and I was like, look, I'm living my dream now. I'm not gonna put so much pressure on this that I don't enjoy it. And really, the last couple weeks before the draft, and then obviously after the draft, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. What did you learn about yourself in that process?
Yeah.
And what did you learn about God in the process?
Just that He's in control. There are things that are out of our hands. We have to. I feel like there's a relationship. We have to take care of our end. If I have a good attitude and I do my work, He'll put me in a position that I want to be in. But you can't micromanage everything.
Yeah.
You are the one in control, and no matter how badly you want to be or how badly you try, there are things that are out of your hands.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like He took you to you're at pick 20 and you're thinking, okay, God, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and then, but He.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy how it works, but it happens. And, this is the first time, college, you get to choose where you go to college. And, I was excited for it because I didn't get to choose what city I got to go to. So, and then also, this was another thing. I've lived in Warsaw, Indiana, a small town. I went to high school in Asheville, North Carolina, a small town. I went to college in Durham, not a big city. I'm like, man, I want to live in a big city.
Brooklyn's a little bigger than Warsaw.
I end up in Brooklyn, and I'm actually staying right across the Hudson in Jersey, but I have New York right there, and so that was another thing that I had asked for, and then I ended up in the biggest city. So.
No, that's awesome. It's kind of ironic.
Yeah.
So God brought you here to Duke, and then to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I mean here we are, two worlds kind of colliding.
Yeah, that, but also like people don't even really know in college, or when we were making the college decision. Here's another example. Like my brother committed to Stanford, my older brother.
Yeah.
I wanted to play with my older brother, but I didn't want to go all the way to the West Coast. So he signed, committed to Stanford. He's going to Stanford. Coach K came in and recruited me. I wanted to play for Coach K, so we're going our separate ways. No, I don't get to play with my brother, but we'll both be all right. Trent Johnson, his coach at Stanford, takes the job at LSU. So now he's not going to play for the coach that he decided. A kid transfers from Duke, a scholarship opens up. Miles backs out of his letter of intent, the AD releases him, and he ends up at Duke with me. So there's just stuff like another example.
All along.
It's out of your hands, man.
Yeah, it just seems like God has been authoring the story of your life and that's what I'm kind of learning in life is that God is big enough to be that small, to live through Mason Plumlee, and to live through Stephen Copeland, and take a magazine like Sports Spectrum and do whatever. And that's really humbling. With all the stuff going on in Syria, all the stuff going on with our government, he's big enough to be that small and live through you. I mean, as you look back on everything that's unfolded, how does it make you feel about him?
It just makes you like you're in good hands. When things are as bad as they can be, you just know that if you stick with him, you're going to come out on top. But you have to believe in it, have faith in it, and you aren't always going to, see. You're not going to see what he sees, but it all works out.
Yeah, you definitely didn't see this, did you?
No, I sure didn't. Really, I think just the I guess I don't know. The point of my story is like you got to walk by faith and not by sight because you can't see the supernatural what God has planned. So
yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, what's your Twitter profile? Does it say Faith Moves Forward?
Yeah.
Unpack that for me real quick. It seems like it relates to the story a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Because like I said, you can make things happen to an extent, but eventually you have to turn it over to him because if you're stuck in a situation, you're having problems, sometimes the best thing to do is just take a step back instead of just beating your head on a wall trying to get through the wall. You just have to take a step back, put it in his hands, and the times where I've been at my lowest points and I've done that, it seems like things have turned around, and that's when you need them most, you know what I'm saying.
Would you say you're beating your head up against the wall this summer a little bit?
Yeah, but even more so like in the season, I mean, there are plenty of examples, but like I was one of the worst free throw shooters in the country, and I was in here, I was shooting 500 free throws up a day. Like I was beating, and then eventually I said, you know what? I'm putting the reps up. I was like, I just need to take a step back, take a deep breath, put it in his hands, and then like my last year, I think I shot close to 70% from the line. So it turns around, but you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah. It just seems like all through life, God's asking us to just relinquish control and
for sure.
just say, hey, let me write your story, man.
Absolutely.
And it's tough to do because I want to write my own story.
Right.
But so